Welcome back to what Arty Noobs with Channel Disturbance. This is a Pz.Sfl 4B. It's the Tier 4 German SPG with a 105mm gun, otherwise known as a cricket. And this one is located on the north spawn of Erlenberg Assault. Game started. It's under the command of JohnnieP. Okay, 105mm gun. It's the exact same gun as in the Fifi, the 105 FH18B2. Okay, so it's got 410 Alpha, but instead it's built on the hull of a Panzer IV with Panzer III running gear. Now he's crossed the river. This is a assault battle, so 10 minutes long. And if the enemy hasn't captured the cap or killed all of the defenders within that 10 minutes, they win. Or the defenders win, that is. Well, JohnnieP's taking a little while to move over to his firing position, but remember, this is actually quite a heavy Arty in many senses, because it's only a small hull, but it's carrying quite a lot of kit. This tank has actually got a turret, and the reason for that turret is so that the gun could be dismounted, and the whole turret could be dismounted and put into a fixed emplacement. And the Germans had a reason for doing that, and JohnnieP's now aiming at the enemy. Gonna hit that OI experimental. Oh, it lands on the ground just short. Now reload on this Arty is 13.08 seconds, so it's not as fast as the Lefty, but it is still pretty good. And that one lands just in front of that Super Jumbo. He keeps pulling back and adjusting. Rounds out, this time should hit. It does. 126 hit points. Now, the reason the Germans actually needed Arty that could have dismounting turrets was towards the end of the war, and this is when this Arty was developed. They only built 13 of them. I think it was 13. And towards the end of the war, they needed turrets they could turn into fixed gun emplacements to hold back the Russians. And frequently, these Artys would need to fire in all directions. He's just wiped out that OI experimental, but he only had 12 hit points left. Picked another target now, an IKV, but no, he's abandoning that because he spotted his opposite number and he's just been wiped out, so he doesn't need to worry about that one. We've got scouts in the south, and that's why they're spotting these tanks. Okay, VK 3001H. This should hit. Oh, he's pulling back. Yep, shell missed. We'll have another one out very shortly. So frequently, German units would be surrounded, and if they were surrounded by Russian forces, then it helped to have an Arty where they could dismount the turret and fire in all directions if needed. And he's just killed the VK, so that's his second kill of the game. Why should they need to fire from a fixed emplacement? Well, that's a good question. The reason is that if you fire from an Arty, every time you fire, you move the vehicle, and that adjusts the aim. And so unless you've got artillerymen who can actually work out how much they need to adjust the vehicle to get the shot onto the same target again, it's better to have a fixed emplacement, because then the recoil is absorbed by the fixed emplacement, and the shells are always accurate. So the recoil is transmitted to the ground, and the vehicle doesn't move, the emplacement doesn't move, and it's much easier to get repetitive shots onto a target. Now, the 105 light field howitzer, which is what this carries, the LFH is like a Feldhaubitze, was the most produced German gun during the Second World War. It's the most produced artillery gun in the war. And frequently, the Allies used to be shelled by German artillery. They thought they were being hit by the heavy 15cm guns, but in actual fact, they were usually, or they thought that it may have been the 88s, but frequently it was only the 105 light field howitzer shells. And he got a direct hit there. That Jackson's definitely been hit, because it was the There was no explosion at all. And if he fires the next one in, he's still there. Oh, no, he's decided to change targets. I felt for a second if he fired another round in, that Jackson would have been wiped out. He's lost sight of the Super Jumbo and the T-3485. We've got a birch gun near the cap, and he's just found a VK who's hiding behind the house, so we're going to aim at the corner of the house. And, oh, he's just killed the birch gun. Lining up a shot on him. Oh, he's going to the other side. And we fired the round in. No, that didn't work. He was on the move at the time. Now the scores are even. There's the Jackson, very low on hit points now. And he's gone. There's the T-3485. We can put a round into his ass. We've got him by the ass. And we're going to do a Klaus Kellerman on him. Shoot him up the ass. Direct hit. 125 hit points. He got that one in the engine bay. Let's see if we can give him a new high explosive enema. There's the IKV-103 lining up a shot, dialing in ahead of him, waiting for him to stop, and unfortunately we lost sight of him, so I think that fell a bit long. T-3485's using that wreck for cover, but of course it doesn't cover his posterior. Rounds out. Oh, lands short, and we've been spotted. The VK's found us. Oh, took a round from two tanks at once, the 2801 and the Super Jumbo. 2801's down. Super Jumbo's capping. We're going to be loaded, and we're loaded, ready to go. Lining them up, and direct hit, 61 hit points. No stun on this gun because it's not high enough caliber, and the Super Jumbo's dead. There's only two enemy tanks remaining, the IKV and the T-3485. And, well, they're headed north towards that AMD 178B. We fire in advance. Oh, what a shot! Oh, and the T-3485 just TK'd his own teammate in the IKV, who accidentally got shot and tracked at the wrong moment. And the T-34 ran into him and took him out. So, that's a team kill, but an accidental one, thanks to JohnnieP. And we know that that T-3485 is headed over here, but he's ignoring the AMD 178B, who's actually behind him and should be able to spot him for us. And then if he pokes his nose out behind that bush, we can put a round into it. Oh, he's coming across the bridge. That's very cheeky. Let's put a round into him. Rounds out. Direct hit. 129. We can win this battle. And that's it. It's all over. With 2 minutes 18 on the clock, still to run. It's all over and finished. And 2 kills for JohnnieP. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's an ace tanker for JohnnieP in the Pz.Sfl 4B, the cricket. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 8 in that one. And because he took 2 rounds, one from the Super Jumbo, one from the VK2801, killed 2 enemy tanks and was alive at the end of the game, he picks up a Stark's medal. And these are difficult to get. I know I've earned quite a few of them in my time, and sometimes I've ended up with just a matter of 1 or 2 hit points left at the end of the game, but still qualified for the Starks. Win 8 for that game was 5,105, so very nicely done. Let's have a look at team score. Well, 1,103 hit points. Sadly, it's not the high caliber. That goes to the T-3485M on the enemy team. He got 2,131 hit points, so he was their most efficient player. But we got the second highest damage. And the next highest damage after that goes to the Jackson, 981. And after that, KV1 on our team with 965. When it came to kills, the highest scorers were the AMD 178B on our team and the Lux. And the Lux managed to get a Pascucci's for killing both of the enemy Arty. He got 3 kills, so did the AMD 178B. Whilst JohnnieP managed to get 2 kills, so did the Grant and the T-34 and 4 tanks on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, well, it was the Lux again, 790. He did get some spotting damage, 651. That's why his XP is so much higher. And JohnnieP's got 703 and the KV1 got 606. He fired 19 rounds of 105mm ammunition. He got 10 direct hits, but he didn't get a penetration. Splash damage on 13. Damage of 1,103 hit points, of which 1,042 were at more than 300 meters. And he received 2 hits One was penetration and one was a hit as a result of splash damage. So I suspect one of those was an HE round, and the cumulative amount of those, the hit points of those rounds was more than 2/3 of the hit points of the cricket, and that meant he qualified for the Stark's medal. He damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 2 of them, and did damage assistance of 362 hit points and got 14 defense points in the cap. On the credit side, on a premium account, he earned 23,606 credits, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, he took away 20,552 credits. He received 3 bombs for getting the Stark's medal, and 1,054 XP times 4 for the first victory, and he got 2,110 for completing the mission and events, so he took away 6,328 experience points altogether. So very nice little Ace Tanker and Stark's medal for JohnnieP in the cricket. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel. We get great replays all the time. It'd be a pity if you miss one. So thanks for watching this video.